Okay, welcome back. Creating Art Over 70 with Science Rufus. Today, I'm going to continue on with the Josiah painting here. Yesterday took a little time off. Yesterday had a good, enjoyable event to go to a birthday at Mission Bay. It was cool. So we just hung out at the bay all day, sitting and talking, watching other people, and munching on some burgers and hot dogs and wings and all type of different things. But an awful lot of people just enjoying themselves, and we enjoyed ourselves immensely also. It was tiring, so when I got home, like, oh, boom, right, lay down, relax, chill. Um, Took a lot out of me. So anyway, let's continue on with the Josiah painting here. Um, I'm standing up, so I'm gonna do a little um, close-up work, but then once I get the close-up work done, I'm gonna continue on into the painting itself, and so then I'll lower the bench down to where you can get a better, where I can get a good recording of what I'm doing. It's I, it's difficult for me to record standing and close tight because the camera is coming down at an angle, and so um, my head will get in the way like this, if you'll see, as I try to paint, and I don't want to do that, and so I'm gonna get this tight stuff done in the workflow real quick, and then I'll move on and I'll do the recording from a lower position so you can see what I'm doing then. I'm working hard. I'm still trying to get the this particular art in. I still haven't captured it. I still know I got a little more lighter values to come in this area to raise it. I still got a little more lighter values in this area to bring it in, and then I got to bring this little cheeky thing over a little bit to the left, and then bring some more light in here. Once I do that, we should get have a better representation of Josiah than what I have here. I can tell it's almost there. It's not quite there, and so we're going to work a little bit more into getting that there. The rest of the piece, I kind of got it to where I'm comfortable with it. I don't think I'm gonna do a whole lot more with the lighting. The lighting didn't actually um, kind of come out to where I wanted it. What I was trying to do was get a more of a purpley reflection. However, like I said, I need to think things through a little deeper. I didn't lay that in early on. Instead, I worked on the anatomy of the facial structure in here, and then I worked on the actual skin tone colors in this area here. And instead of doing that, I believe I still could have captured the anatomy, but with the violet or purple color coming into this section here, and so I would have had more of an influence of that color in the final product. Um, so I understand. I learned a little bit on it this time. So when I come in again to try to do some dynamic lighting stuff, I'm getting a little better, a little closer at it. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting closer to it. As far as the pencil work, I had to go in with the pencil work, and I'm thinking like, why even push to do something in strictly all pastel, because why? It's not something I need to do. It's not a different. It's not gonna make the piece better just because I did it in all pastel. It'd be gratifying to me, but why do it at this stage? I'm not trying to really venture out. I think the whole journey has been so far is to learn what I'm comfortable with, far as the material, the paper I work on, far as what materials I use in the piece. And so I'm very comfortable with the pencils, and I think I want to continue. So So no matter what I do, I'm gonna have, i.e., a combination of the pastels, meaning pencil, pan, and soft. Probably not as much soft, but you know, except for the larger pieces to cover vast amounts of surfaces quicker. I'll use the softs. But anyway, so that's where we are with this, and so I think this is get busy. Creating art over 70, signed Rufus. Okay, all right. Welcome back. Creating art over 70 with signed Rufus. Okay, this is where we are with the Jasir Pastel painting. Um, I did a lot of up close work, so I wasn't recording it because if I was trying to record it, it would look something like that with my head in the picture. So that's what we did here. So anyway, I worked heavily in the area here. I really was trying to get as much detail as I could in the eyes and the nose and the mouth area. I even you know, did a little bit over in the ear section also. So, but now I'm getting ready to focus a little bit more on bringing maybe out just a little bit more of the lighting on this side of the face, and so I could record that as I paint it. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to do, but whatever else it is I'll do, I don't think it will take me having to get in close to capture it. I think I can do it all from here at somewhat of a distance in the seated position. So I'm going to pause now, lower the table, and get set up for continuing on with some more of the painting. Okay, thank you. See you in a minute. I tell you, this has been a real journey on this piece. I didn't shift gears. I just had to rethink what it was I really wanted to do. What I really wanted to do is just be able to paint, relatively beautiful art. So why limit oneself, I guess is what I'm saying, to see that it's possible if I thought that I could create something, I could paint or create something incredibly beautiful, well and beyond what I could do with the combination of pastels, then yeah, without a doubt, I would continue to strive for that. So I guess at this stage of my craft, I don't think I have acquired the skill set to do that. Create something with just pan pastels and the brush that is well beyond what I could do. What I could do with the combination of them, the pans, the pencils, the softs. Sometimes I know there was one time I was thinking about trying to do just a piece with soft pastels. I guess it boils down to what level photorealism that I guess I'm trying to achieve as to the selection. So I guess, as I say that, I think that if I'm just trying to paint with just the pan pastels and the brushes, I could achieve something that's, I think, recognizable. And so I think that's cool too. But for some reason, I seem to want to strive for as much of the photorealism as I can achieve. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, or I'm limiting myself to a certain style. But for right now, I guess in this part of the journey, I'm comfortable with striving for as much detail, photorealism as I can achieve. I guess, I think. So anyway, let's just have fun. Let's enjoy the journey. I understand that I was talking to my wife earlier, and we were talking about dynamic lighting, and I was explaining to her what I thought, what my understanding of dynamic lighting was. is. So dynamic lighting is light and shadows that show movement, energy, and drama, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong somewhere. But anyway, I was telling. So what I was trying to do was take a sampling of dynamic lighting, meaning since the subject matter is not in motion, I wouldn't be trying to represent the movement with the lighting and the shadowing. However, that leaves the other two elements, I think, in my opinion, of energy and drama. So I told her I chose to try to show my dynamic lighting energy. And so I looked up what is the predominant color, I guess, that defines energy. And so violet, I think violet is what I found was the most predominant color for energy. I'm not trying to go in all of the breakdowns and the reasons why and the definitions, but I just wanted to share that. And so that's why I chose to use the violet. It's well within the garment mask scheme that we're using. It actually is one of the main color selections. And so that's what I was using. And so in this piece, that's what I'm trying to represent here is energy, because I know the level of energy that Josiah has put in to being the person that he is today. It's incredible. An outstanding young man, real focused. And I took this shot at his this reference that I'm using here. I took it at his high school graduation celebration dinner. Because I had a number of other references, but I really wanted one that I like to take my own references. So when I get this shot, I'm already thinking about how I want to use it. Okay, wow, ooh, I'm feeling it now, really feeling it. So now, I think I really have accomplished quite a bit as to where I was trying to get with this piece. So I think the only thing left is to work on the jewelry. I'm going to bring in the jewelry because Josiah has a stone here, and then he also wears, well, you can see it, remove my head for a second. He has a stone here, and then he has a chain that comes around here. And at the bottom of the chain, he wears initials. But anyway, I think I'm just going to bring in some of the chain and the stone. And so that's what I'll be concentrating on in the next portion of this session. I'm going to take a break right now because I think I got it where I want it to be. I'm going to tap my wife on the shoulder and say, hey, come take a look, because she is been so helpful. She helped, when I was kind of stuck in the eyes, I was kind of stuck on things. She says, well, she sits in there and she looks at it, and she looks at it from a different perspective, and so it's helpful. And so that's what she did for me, to help me get the eyes in place and correct the actual smile. It's just Josiah's smile. I had it kind of off a little bit, kind of tilted a little bit to where it wasn't showing the dynamics of the actual smile. It's a little smile there. It's a hinted smile, but it's a smile, no doubt. And so anyway, that's what we were working on. So I'm gonna take a short break, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna work on the jewelry and see if we can find some closure to this piece. So see you in a little bit. Thank you for watching Creating Art Over 70 with Sign Rufus. Okay, welcome back. Let's continue on. All right. Okay, I think I reached the end here. I feel pretty good about what I've got here. I think I've reached the point where I can call this one a nice piece, a nice journey. I think this journey has ended for this particular portrait. Wow, this has been incredible. I really enjoyed it. I did a lot of extra stuff. I actually tried some pastels that I've had for a long time. I never found a use for them, and they were the like gold and silver and copper and bronze, those type of pastels, and I never found a use for them. So I thought I would try it, and so what I started to do was in the chain area, I started to lay that down first. If you was watching the video, you saw that I was laying something down, and it probably really didn't look like it was doing anything, but me moving the brush. However, I was laying down, I was trying the gold, and first on the earring, I tried the silver, but that didn't seem to take. And so, and I tried the gold here also, and that didn't seem to do anything. So I'm beginning to think that those particular pastels are maybe like finishing or highlight type pastels where it's not really going to be the actual object that you're trying to paint, but it's going to be something that enhances the object that you're trying to paint. So, I just went to the pencils instead. I just came into the chain with a nice yellow color, and I'm not really trying to paint the whole chain because if you remember, um, let me pause this for a second. So if you remember the golden ratio composition here was showing that I really wanted to just focus on these key areas of the of the portrait in order to enhance or bring home or bring home the composition that I'm trying to present. And so that's why I use the golden ratio so I can get an idea of where to focus the most of my um, where to focus most of my attention to where to really get the details that really um, enhance or bring to life the composition that I'm trying to create. So that's what I was trying to do here. And so it just says focus in this area here, and it would be good to, you should be good. And also, while I'm on this, I stayed within the um, garment mask composition. So we still have the same color scheme going on. We have the greens, we have the purples, and we have, it actually called for oranges in it, but what I used was the siennas. And siennas on this paper produce the orange type of effect. And siennas is what I really try to use when I'm doing skin tones. And I use the burnt sienna for this particular piece because um, I wanted a little a lighter, I guess, skin tone. So I would have used the raw sienna if I wanted to go a little darker in the skin tones. So that's the differences for my understanding from my perspective. I don't know if I'm actually giving you what that, but that's how I use them. I think experimenting with on your own, you really make your own determination from that. So from that, okay. So let's see where I was. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I just needed to gather my chain of thought there. So what we see is, let me pop my head out here. The reference and the actual piece. And for your information, what I really ran into was um, being able to actually get the shapes I wanted implemented in this particular piece. So what I'm saying to you is I learned from this portrait. I this is the first time I use, I guess, the reference right here. I normally would be zooming in and out on the iPad, but I wanted to get a closer representation this time, and so that's why I printed the black and white image. But what I needed to do was print the black and white image closer to. I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but I just want to ride this home. I needed to print the black and white image closer to the size that I'm gonna be painting, because what I was doing is I was painting images or shapes, I should say. I'm painting shapes, but I'm painting shapes what I see in the reference on the paper. And the gist of it is I was trying to produce a portrait that was smaller, significantly, well, not significantly, but quite a bit smaller than the reference that I printed out. So what I want to do in the future is make sure I print my reference to what I'm doing to the size, so I won't have that skew when I'm painting the shapes. Anyway, I think I got it. I'm gonna put my little signature on it here, and um, if there's any refine, I'm gonna still sit back and take a look at it. I still always sit back and take a look at the piece that I feel is completed, and sometimes I do see a little refining that is needed. And so if that does happen, I'll just implement it. But anyway, this is it. Josiah pastel painting. Here we go. Okay, there we go. All right, Josiah pastel painting, creating art over 70 with Cyan Rufus. Thank you so much for watching. Blessing, painting with a passion. See you in the next session, in the next project.